Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jem here, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I built a consulting firm that generates leads on autopilot. But before I dive into the strategies, let me tell you a little bit about who I am and how this all started, because understanding the why behind what I do makes everything about I'm about to share make a lot more sense. So here's my story. My name is Jem Ulnu. I currently live in Dubai. For the past few years, I helped startups and established companies scale their operations through smarter marketing, automation, and lead generation. And somewhere along the way, I got obsessed with this one thing: how to create predictable revenue without burning out. Because I kept noticing the same problem across every business that I worked with. Didn't matter if it's a software company, a service provider, or an agency. They all had great products and great teams, but they struggled with this one thing: getting consistent, high quality leads. They could deliver amazing results, but getting people through the door, that was the bottleneck. So I started testing everything, every lead gen framework, every funnel, every automation tool that I could get my hands on. And after a lot of trial and error, I built a system that changed everything: a simple, data driven approach to attracting and converting leads that runs quietly in the background while you focus on what you do best. Fast forward to today, I've worked with businesses across different industries, helping them build predictable pipelines that don't rely on luck, endless ads, or burnout. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it and how you can build your own version of a consulting business that attracts qualified leads, nurtures them automatically, and grows even while you sleep. Now let's break down the four pillars that help me build a consulting firm that generates leads on autopilot. So you can see these four pillars here. These four steps completely changed how I run my business, and they can do the same for you. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because starting today, I'll drop weekly videos that'll help you grow your business, attract better clients, and finally build a predictable pipeline that doesn't rely on luck. All right, let's kick things off with point number one: clarity creates cash flow. So here's the truth: you can't automate what you don't understand, and you definitely can't scale confusion. Before I built any system, before I even hired my first VA, I had to get brutally honest with one thing, and that is exactly who am I helping? What specific problems am I solving? Most people skip this part and say things like, oh, I help businesses grow. Well, what kind of businesses and how? Grow how? That's exactly like saying you're a doctor without knowing whether you've treated humans or pets. You'll end up helping no one because your message doesn't land with anyone. When your audience doesn't know what you do or who you do it for, they scroll past you. When you have clarity, laser sharp clarity, everything suddenly clicks. Your content connects deeper. Your DMs actually convert. Your calendar starts filling up, because clarity isn't about knowing your niche. It's about knowing your lane and owning it so that confidently ideal clients can spot you from a mile away. So let me tell you exactly what happened when I didn't have that clarity. When I was starting out, I was everywhere. One day I was messaging SaaS founders. The next day I was reaching out to real estate agents. The next week, chiropractors. Basically, I was trying to help anyone with a pulse and a business. And guess what? That got me crickets. Remember one morning, I sat down with my coffee, looked at my inbox full of cold messages, and realized something brutal. I have no idea who I'm even supposed to be helping. I was just talking to too many people, which meant that I was really talking to no one. And that was the moment I knew that I had to make a choice. So I went back to the basics. I asked myself, who do I actually understand deeply? What problems can I solve without overthinking? And who do I genuinely enjoy working with? And the answer was clear: service based businesses. Because I understood their pain points. They didn't need 100,000 followers, they needed consistent, qualified leads. And that was something I could deliver. The moment I made that decision, everything started to align. I changed my messaging, I refined my outreach. I built an offer that directly solved their biggest headache. And once that clarity kicked in, clients started finding me. Referrals started flowing. Even my cold messages started getting replies like, wow, this is exactly what I need. That's when I realized clarity is the foundation of cash flow. Because when you know who you're talking to and what they need, your marketing stops being guesswork and starts being a magnet. So if you're trying to build your own business, trying to grow it, get leads, whether you're an agency, service based business, or a consulting firm, and you're still trying to figure out your direction, here's exactly how to get clarity starting today. So first, you got to define your audience. Get specific, like painfully specific. Ask yourself, who do I understand best? Who actually has the problem that I can solve? And most importantly, who can afford my solution? Don't chase everyone. The riches are in the niches. If you try to serve everyone, you'll end up blending in. But when you focus on a very specific audience, you instantly become the go-to person in that space. Clarify the pain. Here's the secret. People don't buy services. They buy solutions to pain. So think about your ideal client. What are they complaining about at 2 a.m. when they can't sleep? What keeps them anxious or frustrated about their business? Write those problems down. That list is your gold mine. Because once you know their pain, you can tailor your entire message around solving that exact issue. Build your promise. Now, turn that understanding into a clear, confident offer. We talked about the pain points before. Take that understanding and turn it into a clear, confident offer. Your offer should pass the 7-second test, meaning someone should understand what you do within 7 seconds of reading it. Here's a simple formula you can use. I help specific audience get specific result without common struggle. Example, I help service-based businesses get 30 qualified leads per month without spending money on ads. That one line becomes your North Star. It keeps your content, sales pitch, and systems aligned. Now, you got to say it everywhere. Once you've nailed your offer, it's time to make it loud and consistent. Put it on your website headline, LinkedIn banner, email signature, Instagram bio, outreach messages. Consistently builds recognition, and recognition builds trust. When people see the same message across every platform, they start to believe it. And when they believe it, they buy into it. There's one thing I've learned and it's this. Confused businesses don't scale. Clear ones do. Clarity gives you direction, direction builds confidence, and confidence creates cash flow. So before you chase automation, funnels, or fancy tools, get clear first, because when your message is sharp, every other piece of your business starts falling into place effortlessly. Once you lock that in, and you know who you're helping and what you're offering, the next step is all about leverage, building systems to help you scale without burning out. And that's point 2, build a lead machine. Here we go. So let's see. Okay. So now that you got clarity on who you're helping and what you're offering, it's time to talk about something that completely changes the game. Building systems that work even when you don't. Because let's be real, doing everything manually can only get you so far. You can't scale if you're the one chasing every lead, sending every message, and following up every time. At some point, you hit a wall, you're working harder, not smarter. It's exactly where most people get stuck, in the hustle trap. Here's the truth. Your business stops running the moment you stop working. You don't have a business, you have a job. So the goal now is to create what I call a lead machine, a repeatable, reliable system that keeps your pipeline full without you consistently pushing every button. No, this is not about fancy coding or building some overly complicated tech stack. A lot of people overcomplicate automation. They think it means connecting 10 different tools, writing complex scripts, or hiring a full dev team. But the real automation is simply about building repeatable processes that deliver consistent results, even on your off days. That's when your business truly starts scaling. So let me walk you through how I built my own lead machine. When I first started, I was doing everything manually. I mean, everything. I'd wake up, scrape leads by one, get leads from lead sellers, go to LinkedIn, copy paste data into a sheet, then manually write and send every cold email. Then I'd just wait and refresh my inbox every 5 minutes. Like, please, someone reply. Sure, it worked kind of. I was getting leads, some sales calls, but it was slow, exhausting, and not scalable. There were days where I felt like a hamster running in a wheel, busy all day, but not really moving forward. And one day, after yet another long night of manual outreach, I asked myself, if I keep doing this alone, will this business ever grow beyond me? And the answer was obviously no. So I decided to start building what I now call my lead engine. And here's what it looks like. Data automation. Use tools like Apollo and Clay to automatically pull high quality leads that fit my exact criteria. No more endless scrolling through LinkedIn directories or, just other like stuff like, I don't know. There's a bunch of lead sources. But yeah, you enhance with Clay. You get the leads through Apollo. You can get them through Clay as well, and then you enhance with Clay. Number two, personalized outreach. I built outreach sequences using lists, but I didn't want it to sound too robotic. Each message was customized with smart variables, company names, pain points, industry mentions, so it felt personal, not spammy. AI really helps with this. It customizes everything for you, and yeah, makes it personalized. Seamless integration. I connected everything through Zapier, which acted like the glue. New leads from Apollo went directly into Lemlist. Replies went to my CRM. Tasks synced automatically. Then you just update your statuses on the CRM. And suddenly everything just clicked. And now instead of spending all day doing repetitive work, my system did it for me. Leads came in, follow-ups happened automatically, and now I could focus on strategy, calls, and client delivery. The things that actually moved the needle. I still remember the first time I checked my inbox after dinner and saw replies from qualified leads all while I wasn't on my desk. And that was the moment I realized I'm not just working in my business anymore. I've built a business that works for me. That's the difference between a freelancer and being a real business owner. Obviously, when you run ads, this will help as well. So, how do you build your own version of this? Let's break it down step by step. No flush, just the essentials. Pick one channel first. Don't be everywhere. Choose one lead source and dominate it. That could be cold email, LinkedIn outreach, or content marketing. Start with one, master it, and expand. You'll save yourself months of scattered effort. Choose your tools wisely. You don't need 200 tools. You need the right ones that work together. Use a simple starter pack. Apollo, Clay, find and segment leads, enhance them. Lemlist, instantly send and automate personalized outreach. Zapier Make, connect your tools so everything's automated. Notion Airtable, that's like your task manager. You can track, everything you have to do for the day, and you can assign, delegate your work. Keep track of your campaigns and metrics. Remember, tools don't replace strategy, they enhance it. Now, you got to create personalized templates. Write 3 to 5 outreach templates that speak directly to your niche's pain points. Avoid sounding generic. Instead of saying, hey, I help businesses grow their leads, say something like, hey, first name, I noticed your agency focuses on B2B SaaS. Curious how you are currently filling your pipeline without relying on paid ads. That kind of line starts a conversation, not a pitch. Now, you got to automate your follow-ups. Most deals aren't won on the first message, they're won on the fifth. Set up automatic sequences that follow up naturally, not like a robot. Example sequence. Day 1, initial outreach. Day 3, quick follow-up. Hey, I just wanted to make sure you saw my message. You can also add like a client result to this. Day 7, add value. Here's a short resource we use to help similar businesses. Like this, like I said before, like our clients got this result. Now we gave them this. You can mix it in. Day 14, final nudge. Should I close the loop on this? Like, you could say this. Honestly, I don't think this works that well, but you could tell them like, yo, this is the last time I'm messaging you. Let me know if you're still interested. These messages keep the conversation warm without you manually tracking every reply. Track and tweak your metrics. So we'll go to 5 here. Yeah, there we go. You can't improve what you don't measure. Pay attention to open rate. Are people seeing your message? So if you like track your, data, this might affect your open rate, but if you want to track it, you gotta turn on. So reply rate, are messages getting replied to? Are they resonating with potential clients? And conversion rate, are you booking calls or closing deals? Once you know your numbers, you'll know where to improve. For example, low open rate, tweak your subject line. Low reply rate, rework your message angle. Low conversion rate, adjust your offer clarity. The key is consistency. When your system is data driven, it scales predictably. You just need to know the bottlenecks and then fix them. That's pretty much it here. Here's what most people get wrong. They think automation kills connection. Automation does not replace relationships. It protects your time so you can focus on building real ones. Your system should handle repetitive tasks so you can handle the human ones, nurturing leads, delivering results, and building long term trust. When your lead machine runs smoothly, you stop chasing clients. The clients start chasing you. Now that's your system running and leads are flowing in. There's one more key ingredient you need, and that is trust, because systems bring attention, but authority brings conversion. That's where the content comes in. Let's move to point number 3, building authority with content. So by now, you got the two major pieces locked in, which is clarity. You know who you're helping and what you offer. Now you got automations locked in. You've built a system that keeps your pipeline running on autopilot. Now comes the most powerful part, and that one turns attention into trust. Because here's the thing, people don't buy from strangers, they buy from people they know, like, and trust. And what's the fastest way to build that trust online? And that is through content. Content is how people get to know you before they even meet you. It's how you turn cold strangers into warm prospects, and warm prospects into clients who already believe you're the best choice before you even hop on a call. Clarity gets people to notice you, and automation gets them into your inbox. Then content is what makes them believe in you. And you don't need to overthink it. Don't need a massive production team, fancy graphics, or perfect lighting. You just need to consistently share what you know, what you've learned, and the results you've created in your own authentic voice. Think of content as showing your work in public. You're not bragging, you're building credibility by letting people see your process, your thinking, and your wins, even your mistakes. That's how people start to see you as the expert, not just another service provider. Let me show you what that looked like for me. When I first started, I didn't have an audience, no big following, no personal brand, nothing. But I did have results, small ones, but real ones. And I decided to start sharing them. So I started posting short breakdowns on LinkedIn, simple stuff like how we got 100 qualified leads in 30 days for a local business. No fluff, no clickbait, just straight up value. I'd explain what we did, the tools we used, and what we learned from it. I wasn't trying to sound like a guru, I was just documenting what actually worked for me in real time. And here's the thing, at first, nobody cared. My posts would get a few likes, maybe a comment or two, if any. But I stayed consistent, I kept showing up. After a few weeks, something crazy started happening. I began getting DMs from people saying like, "Hey Jem, I've been seeing your posts. Can we talk about lead generation?" And that's when I realized the power of content. Because with messages, they were inbound leads. No cold emails, no chasing, no paid ads, just consistent value. It was a total mindset shift for me. Instead of chasing people, I was now attracting them because by sharing what I knew, I wasn't just showing expertise, I was showing proof. People could literally see the results before even talking to me. And that's what authority looks like online, when your content does the convincing for you. So let's talk about how you can start using content to bring in clients consistently, even if you're starting from scratch. Choose one platform and commit. You don't need to be everywhere. In fact, trying to post on 5 platforms at once is the fastest way to burn out. Pick one platform that makes sense for your audience. LinkedIn if your B2B is service based, YouTube if you want long form trust building content that compounds over time, TikTok or Instagram Reels if you're comfortable on camera and want faster reach. Choose one lane and own it. Share simple insights. Don't try to sound smart. Most people think they need to sound like a Harvard professor online. Wrong. The best content sounds like advice from a trusted friend. You don't have to invent new ideas. Just explain what's already working for you in a way that's relatable. Here are some examples. Here's the exact script I used to book 10 sales calls this week. This one mistake cost me 30 leads last month. Don't repeat it. Here's what I'd do differently if I started my agency today. That kind of content hits because it's real, not theoretical. You're not trying to impress, you're trying to help. Use the teach plus testimonial combo. The most powerful strategy, content or content especially, is what I call the teach testimonial loop. Here's how it works. Teach. Post valuable how to content. Example, 3 ways to qualify leads, better leads before outreach. So you qualify them better. how to qualify them better, pretty much. You can play around with the title. You got to play around with the title as well. Testimonial, follow up of a real story or client win. Example, we used this strategy for a SaaS client and got a 47% reply rate. This combo does two things. It teaches so people learn to trust your expertise. It shows proof so people believe you can deliver results. Together, they build authority without you ever having to say, I'm an expert. Be ridiculously consistent. This is the hardest part, but also the most important. You don't need to go viral. You just need to be visible and valuable consistently. One valuable post per day or even 3 per week compounds faster than you think because every post is a tiny trust deposit. And over time, those deposits turn into inbound leads and long term relationships. Think of this: every post is a silent salesperson that works for you 24/7. Engage. Don't just post and ghost. Authority isn't built through what you post, it's built through how you interact. When people comment on your content, reply. When someone DMs you a question, respond thoughtfully. That's where the real relationships start. And when you treat every content or message like a potential conversation, not a transaction, you'll be surprised how fast your community grows. Remember, visibility gets attention, but engagement builds connection. Closing thought here. Here's the truth. You don't need to be an influencer to make content visible for you. You don't need to be, you need to be, you need to be very intentional and consistent. Yeah. All right. And that is because in today's world, your content is your credibility. It's your digital handshake. It's the first impression that tells people, hey, I know what I'm talking about and I can help you. When you build authority through content, you stop chasing validation. You start attracting opportunities. And that's when business gets really fun. When people come to you because they already trust what you bring to the table. Now that you build trust and authority through content, it's time to talk about something most people completely overlook, and that is relationships. Because leads and systems are great, but relationships are what turn one-time clients into long-term partnership. Let's dive into point number 4, build relationships that compound. You can have the best systems, the best automations, and even the best content strategy, but if you don't know how to build relationships, your business will eventually hit a ceiling. Because here's the truth: people do business with people, not funnels, not templates, not automation sequences, all those things, clarity, systems, content, they get you noticed. But relationships, they get you remembered. You might have heard this before, but it's worth repeating. Your network is your net worth. And that's not just a motivational quote, it's a business principle. In this digital age, where everyone's competing for clicks and impressions, the entrepreneurs who stand out are the ones who build real human connections. Because no matter how advanced the tools get, no matter if the robots come and take us over, trust is the strongest currency in business. The trust is built one conversation, one collaboration, one genuine connection at a time. Here's something people often overlook. Even in a systemized, automated business, relationships are what make those systems sustainably profitable. You can't automate empathy. You can't systemize sincerity. And that's what exactly what makes your relationships ultimately an unfair advantage to you. Not a lot of people are doing this stuff. Let me give you a perfect example of how one genuine relationship completely changed my business trajectory. Back when I was still building my consulting firm, one of my earliest clients was a small marketing agency. They weren't a huge brand or a big contract, but they were an opportunity to prove what I could do. So I went all in. I treated that project like if it was a 6-figure deal. We helped them close a few major clients, clean up their lead generation process, and got them results fast. When we wrapped up the project, they were thrilled. A few weeks later, I got an unexpected message. The agency owner said, hey, I was talking to a friend of mine who owns a national franchise. I told him about what you did for us. He wants to meet you. The introduction turned into a conversation. That conversation turned into a proposal, and that proposal became a $30,000 deal. Not ad spend, no cold outreach, no complicated funnel. Just one happy client who believed in what I did and referred me to someone else. We have a lot more cases like this. We get constantly referrals. So you got to make sure you keep your relationships with clients top notch. And that's when I realized something powerful. Systems just generate leads, content builds trust, but relationships close deals and open doors you didn't even know existed. That one connection didn't just bring you revenue, it brought me credibility. It opened a network of opportunities I could have never accessed on my own. And from that point forward, I stopped seeing clients as transactions and started seeing them as partners. Because when you focus on relationships over revenue, the revenue eventually takes care of itself. So let's talk about how you can build those kind of strong, authentic relationships that drive long term business growth, even in a digital world. You got to over deliver every single time. If you promise results in 30 days, aim to deliver in 20. When people feel genuinely taken care of, they talk about it. This is your foundation. Nothing builds trust faster than exceeding expectations. If you don't have, like, if your package includes one strategy session, throw in a quick bonus audit or something. Like, you just gotta be kind with the stuff. You gotta give people more resources that are gonna help them, regardless of what you promise them. Doesn't have to cost you more time. Just show that you care, because that's what happens. People feel generally taken care of. They talk about it. They remember how you made them feel, and what that feels like that word of mouth marketing. You can't buy that with ads. You got to make sure you have good relationships with clients and business partners. Follow up even after the project ends. Most people disappear once the invoice is paid. Don't stay connected. A simple message like, "Hey, just checking in. How's everything going with the campaign?" Can reignite conversations and lead to more opportunities. Sometimes that follow up turns into a new project. Other times it turns into a referral. Either way, it keeps you top of mind. And when you're talking to someone who needs what you got, guess whose names comes up first? Yours. That's why you gotta have a good service. Ask for introductions. Here's something many entrepreneurs are too shy to do. Ask for intros. After you've delivered value and built trust, it's completely okay to say something like, "Hey, I'm glad you're happy with the results. By the way, do you know anyone else who might benefit from this kind of service?" You'd be surprised how often people are happy to refer you. They just never thought to do it until you asked. Referrals are the easiest, warmest leads you'll ever get because they come preloaded with trust. Now, you got to network intentionally as well. Networking isn't about collecting business cards or joining every Facebook group. It's about being intentional, connecting with the right people, and showing up with genuine value. Here's what I mean: join online communities in your niche, but contribute value before pitching anything. Attend virtual summits or mastermind groups. Be the person who shares insights freely. Connect with people in complementary industries, not competitors, but partners who can refer clients your way. Example: if you offer lead generation for marketing agencies, connect with business coaches who work with agency owners. You'll find endless collaboration opportunities that don't require competing, just aligning. Be authentic. This is the secret ingredient that ties it all together. Don't fake relationships for the sake of getting clients. People can feel that energy and it kills trust instantly. Be genuinely curious about others. Ask about their goals, their challenges, and their wins. Listen more about what you talk. You gotta listen more than you talk. That's my bad. Gotta listen more. And that is because at the end of the day, people remember how you made them feel, not what you sold them. And that is very important. Be the kind of person others want to connect with, not because you have the best offer, but because you have the best energy. There's one thing I've learned, it's this: the relationships are the ultimate growth multiplier. You can't buy them, you can't automate them, but when you nurture them, they'll pay you back for years in opportunities, partnerships, and loyalty. Your next big deal could come from a casual conversation. Your next collaboration could come from a client you followed up 6 months ago. And your next referral could come from someone who simply appreciated how you treated them. So yes, build your systems. Yes, refine your offer. Yes, automate your processes, but never forget the RB of business, relationships. Because at the end of the day, people don't trust and they don't buy from businesses. They buy from people they trust, like, and connect with. All right, let's wrap this up. You've got clarity, you built your systems, you've shared your value through content. Now you've learned the power of building real relationships. It's time to put it all together and talk about what happens when all these four pieces align perfectly. So that's how I built a consulting firm that generates leads on autopilots. And I'd like to say a business that runs even when I don't. It runs while I'm sleeping, it runs while I'm taking a shower, etc., etc. It runs while I'm at the gym. It runs while I'm gone. Let's do a quick recap. First, I got crystal clear. Let's retake that. Let's do a recap on how you can do this as well and how I did it. First, I got crystal clear on who I help and what problem I solve, because clarity creates cash flow. When you know exactly who you're speaking to, everything from your messaging to your offers starts falling into place. Second, I built a lead machine. I stopped relying on manual effort and created systems that worked for me. Automation doesn't replace human touch. It gives you back your most valuable resource, time. Third, I started creating content that builds trust. I shared what I knew, documented my processes, and showed real results. And what happened? People started reaching out, not because I chased them, but because my content did the talking for me. And finally, I learned that relationships close deals. You can have all the tech and systems in the world, but people still buy from people. Referrals, collaborations, word of mouth, they all come from genuine connection. And that's the part you can't fake or automate. And listen, you don't need to hustle 24/7. You don't need to burn out to build something meaningful. What you need is a business that runs while you're living your life, a business that gives you freedom, not another job that traps you. Because life is really about this. It's not just about generating leads, not just about making money. It's building a system that gives you space to think, grow, rest, and live. That's the difference between being busy and being free. If this video gave you any value, hit that like button. It helps a ton with the algorithm and helps me, get more people like you watching my videos. Drop a comment below. Tell me what kind of business you're running. I love reading your stories and seeing what you're building. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos on scaling, automation, and lead generation. Everything you need to turn your business into a well-oiled lead generation machine. And hey, if you're ready to take this to the next level, hit the link in the description below. See if your business qualifies. Let's book a call and see if we can help you. Because the truth is, your business shouldn't depend on how many hours you work. It should depend on how smartly you build it. We can help you get leads, etc., etc. Thanks for watching. And remember, work smarter, automate harder, and build systems that set you free.